Thank you.
I've got a question about the survey. It became very clear to me that when looking at welfare departments and putting money through SSAF into welfare, that online counselling was going to be an option for the university, and that was always put there if you wanted to choose putting money towards welfare. I have a lot of doubts about whether online counselling could actually be an effective mechanism for students, and I was just wondering if you could talk me through, I guess, the university's logic of potentially implementing online counselling.
Okay, three responses to that. Firstly, I want to dispel a myth around that question, and it was a myth that actually did pop up in my inbox on a number of occasions. This is not online counselling to replace face-to-face counselling. The second point is that, and it's going back to a question that was one of the first ones, which is how would this fund actually be relevant to and benefit students who aren't physically on campus? And clearly online counselling, and we know there's a need for it, is one potential answer. We also know from student respondents to the student experience survey of last year that students both distance and on campus would actually avail themselves of online counselling if it were available. So we're not doing this on the basis of a centrally determined kind of wish. This is actually the basis of feedback that we've got from students, and on the basis of, in a sense, what are the needs of students, particularly that are not physically on campus.
I might give, I'll go to the background of this gentleman.
Oh, okay. Just in terms of the consultation process, sorry to go back. I guess we've covered it quite a bit. But you're collating the data at the moment for the survey responses. I'm just interested in perhaps a time frame of how long that will take. And then you consult with the TUU, I suppose. And the TUU, this is a question for Saleh as well. Will you be consulting with students once kind of like there's an idea at least of what might the money be spent on, and whether students will have an ability then to be able to disagree possibly? I understand obviously now it's 2 weeks to the end of the semester, and then it'll just be introduced next semester anyway, so maybe the time frame is short. But yeah, I'm interested in time frames for if we disagree with what the university wants to spend the money on.
Obviously, here is identified 4 key areas that we hope SSAF will fund through us, which is advocacy and welfare, student media, clubs, support for clubs and societies, and activities on campus, that's right. So obviously now we have to look at our survey, the TUU survey, and this university survey to see is that what students really want on campus. And obviously when we see the university survey and we have an understanding of both these surveys, we'll show it to the students through our networks and so on. And then I guess we'll have to see what students say and hopefully take it back to the university as well. Obviously we're working on a very, very tight time frame.
And you asked what the time frame was. I think the results of the analysis of the survey will be probably digested within this calendar month, and the idea is that we open up the discussions with the TUU towards the end of the month or in the early days of June.
There's been a lot of concern mentioned about the response rate to the survey. I was wondering if so that we could get a better understanding of what the response rate is in comparison to other surveys done past. Could we get some information on what the response rate has been in past surveys that have been distributed to many students, so that we know whether this is a normal response rate or if this is a higher or lower response rate? Because that may help us feel better about this.
I don't have the answer to that question. I don't know if you've got any immediate comment.
Maybe there are some surveys that you can look at, and probably not obviously they're kind of being
what I would suggest we do is, when we've got to the point where we've got some usable data, if we provide some analysis of the level of response by campus and by location, and perhaps do some benchmarking of that against other surveys that we've done, so that we can get a sense of whether this is not just in its aggregate sense, but also for Sandy Bay and for Cradle Coast, etc., whether this is a disproportionately low or an average type of response. I think we can do that.
Thank you very much.
Is there any money out of this fund that's going to be transferred to the union for distribution according to a set of union SRC parameters, or is it all going to be determined by the university?
Are you asking whether is the funding going to be tight or untight? Is that what you mean?
Well, I think it's the sort of question is who determines where this funding is? Like, to me, if the university gets to decide who spends the money, then it's little more than another form of tax. It's student fees. It's like, hang on, why are we paying a service amenity fee so that the university can decide where it gets spent?
I think we've explained that it's not the university that is, in a sense, making the full decision. The university is, under the legislation, responsible, but we've gone through a process of consultation. We've discussed whether that consultation has been wide enough or not. We've gone through a process of consultation. We've heard and we will listen to the student voice in the process of making decisions about where the money is to be allocated. The specific question is a complicated one because there is also the base kind of agreement that we have with the TUU, which does actually provide funding for some of the kind of the normal representation type activities.
I guess what we hope to see once we get the survey results is we have to see we'll have to see from what students want, whether that's something that the TUU can provide, something that we don't really provide, and then I'm not sure that really answers your question, really. So,
let me ask you this slightly different way. There is a currently a service agreement between the University and the Union, is that right?
Yes.
For a given pot of money.
Correct.
Okay. Is this current allocation going to add to that pot, or is it going to be substituting part of it?
No, what we agreed is
the new pot going to be bigger, or is it going to stay the same?
Depends what you mean by the pot. The guarantee that we have given and that we work within is that the current arrangement, as of now, is the minimum position.
Okay,
so basically the current amount plus an X amount.
Okay, so we've got two options. If it's a minimum position, the services amendments fee that's going to be charged to students is not going to add to the funds that are available to the union.
Because we're not saying that it won't.
No.
Because we are not prejudging what comes out of the consultation.
That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
Is that the consultation over about what happens to this bucket of money that we're about to get through the collection of the SSAF fees and the current arrangement. Who is going to be engaged in negotiating what that final pot is? And is it going to be the same people who are involved in that who are also going to be engaged in its allocation? And will there, in the process of that negotiation, be an article of good faith by the university in order to allow the union to actually make some decisions on their own behalf if the university is trusted to do so?
Where do we start? Obviously, I'll tell you what the TUU sees. We hope to see more money, obviously, to fund the student experience, and we hope when the university comes back to us and says this is what the survey results say, Obviously, in the mature discussions that we can have with the university is that we don't think so. This could be the better option to really enhance student experience on campus, and for the university to trust us to be able to receive those funds and then deliver those services for students. That's what I see as possible.